Good evening and welcome, welcome. Let us begin with prayer. Heavenly Father, we want to invite your presence to continue to be with us even now in our discussion. And may the information that is looked at be simple enough so that all would be able to understand. This is our prayer in Jesus' name, amen. Right, so we're going to be looking at high blood pressure. It is a topic that we began a couple weeks ago, but for the simple reason of going through step by step with you, we have elected to really take our time and explain some details, which I hope by now has helped you to be able to appreciate the knowledge gained and by your application that you are helped. So this is the fifth and final episode or in the series on hypertension. And welcome, welcome. We had our prayer. I'm talking to you from Pure Wellness Lifestyle Center all the way in Trinidad and Tobago. The information provided to you in this presentation is not intended to substitute for professional or personalized medical treatment or advice. And we're looking at high blood pressure, one nation under pressure. So we talked about what hypertension is, what you can do in terms of your diet, your lifestyle, and now we're looking at a couple herbal agents and supplements that can assist you in overcoming your high blood pressure. We went at length to explain that a number of times when we see an elevated blood pressure, it could be stemmed from stress. It could be stemmed from the diet that you're consuming, from a simple thing as high sodium, low potassium, or it might get a little bit more specific and complicated for some to understand that their use of oils and high-fat food and animal protein can lead to a hypertensive condition. And if we were to make the change, then it's better. So we currently have a session going on right now in Trinidad. It is the Carnival weekend, and it's a long weekend, and we have a couple of folks who are here with us at the center. And someone shared with me today, after taking her blood pressure, that it is lower than what she is accustomed to see by about 15, 20 points. And she was not, at the moment, she's not on her medication. She opted to do that on her own, not to take her medication while here, simply to have a look with my diet changes, my emphasis on walking, on getting fresh air, sunlight, rest, full environment, and, as to whether that makes a difference for her, and it has. So we're just waiting to see by the end. And when she goes back home, as she continues along this path that she has learned here, that God will continue to bless her. And high blood pressure is 100% reversible. It is reversible and you need not have it. So by not fueling the fire or putting the causative factors in our lives can help us in reversing this condition. Now, here, point to note is that if you are on medication, you need to check with your doctor. Let your doctor know that you are making some lifestyle changes, and you have, you can take your list of your supplements or these herbal agents and have a look and see whether there are any counter interactions. So as you do that, at least your doctor would know that you're serious to be off your medication one day, and that person would help you to achieve your goal. Now, of the fruit of the tree is for man's food, and the leaves is for his what? His medicine. So what do we have from the plant kingdom that God has provided for us? Garlic. Garlic is effective in lowering your LDL cholesterol, your triglyceride, your HDL cholesterol, as well as your blood pressure. Garlic can help to decrease and prevent atherosclerosis, and that is where you have the build-up of plaque deposits in your arteries. If you have that happening, your arteries begins to be narrowed, and there's less room for the blood to flow through. And that can account for your blood pressure to be high, because your blood is recognizing a resistance somewhere along your body, in the blood flow, in the bloodstream. It's recognizing a narrowing, a blockage. And with that, there's going to be a backup. The blood pressure is going to be high. The heart has to pump harder to get that blood through. And that is your high blood pressure reading right there. Individuals would be at risk for getting a heart attack and stroke if they have atherosclerosis plaque deposits in their arteries. So garlic, by consuming garlic on a day-by-day basis, it's helpful. Now, it's important, your garlic, you cut, slice up, and you leave it, let it sort of breathe or rest for about 20 minutes before you begin to use it. And in that way, it will yield more medicinal value purpose for you, as compared to if you just simply cut it into the pot. So leave it, sort of like cut your vegetables first, and including your garlic first. Let it relax a little bit on the counter, and before you add it to your food. In this case, we want to eat our garlic, and so you could heat the garlic just for about a 5 minute, but be it in steaming or in baking, and that just breaks that sharp taste of the garlic, because we're looking at anywhere like 4 to 8 cloves of garlic for breakfast or for lunch. And you can have it both times, for breakfast and lunch, depending on how severe your high blood pressure is. I have known of individuals who have high blood pressure, and they can take a garlic and grate it on a spoon and just drink it with some juice or water. Blend it in some water and drink that, and it would just bring the blood pressure down. I've known of individuals who would even grate it and put it on bread and eat it, and it would bring the blood pressure down in a quick time. We also have that you can get commercially garlic capsules. The kyolic garlic capsule can be helpful. This is another brand by Nature's Way, and it's called Garlinase 500. And each capsule, or tablet rather, in here, it's an enteric-coated tablet, meaning it gets down all the way past your stomach into your belly and then does its work. And it yields 5,000 micrograms of allicin, which is the active ingredient in garlic that would help you for your medicinal benefit. So it's 2 tablets twice daily with a meal. And one of these tablets is equivalent to 4 cloves of garlic. That's how we can recommend about 8 cloves of garlic with breakfast and with lunch. It may seem quite a lot. So it's, 2 tablets twice a day with breakfast and with lunch of the Garlinase capsule. Again, depending on how severe your blood pressure is, if it's coming down within range, you would reduce the amount because you don't want to feel lightheaded, all the symptoms with having low blood pressure. Now, if you are on blood thinning medication, be careful with the amount of garlic that you consume, and that would help you to not thin your blood too much. And so 1 clove of garlic reduces a heart attack by 18%, just to know. A lot of folks are getting high blood pressure, and you're looking for something from a food source to decrease your risk, and garlic can help you to achieve that. Now, garlic is water soluble, so it gets into the capillaries and the bloodstream really quickly. It helps to fight off the plaque deposits and even in our arteries and even cancer. And garlic water can deliver usable amounts of allicin to fight bacteria even in the stomach. Garlic water. So you have certain bacteria in your stomach like H. pylori bacteria that can stay there for many years if you don't address it. But garlic water can help. Garlic water being different from the capsule or the tablet, that it would bypass that stomach region if you took it in a tablet form. But if you drank the water, then going all the way along your digestive tract, the garlic will encounter certain bacteria around there and deal with them. So the garlic water enema at times helps to get rid of certain bacteria in the colon. And that will apply a lot for colon-related issues, parasites, as well as cancer in the colon. Now, to make garlic water, you want to crush approximately 8 cloves of garlic and let it sit for at least 7 to 14 minutes or up to 1 hour. Letting it sit, meaning you crush it up and you leave it on a plate, let it just be there. And the allicin begins to come forward and release its properties more. Now, you get 4 cups of water or 1 liter of water, and you put your 8 cloves of garlic in that water. You let it draw for at least 1 hour. Then you may strain it, the amount that you want to drink. Leave the rest of the garlic cloves in the jar, and you continue to drink your water. So what's remained will just stay there and be drawing for longer. And so you might find what remains to be more potent than your first drink. And garlic water can last up to 28 days, but you may want to replace it after 7 to 10 days because, you don't want to have, and 4 cups is not too much to consume. So you can just consume a cup at a time, and that would just take you for about 4 or 5 days. So garlic water is one way in which you can lower your blood pressure or even address stomach bugs. There are a couple of herbs that we would recommend, and one of them is hawthorn berries. So hawthorn berries, it's sold in a bottle. I don't have any around my desk right now, but I'll just show you a Nature's Way bottle. And it's hawthorn berries. On the bottle, it would give you the directions. And I know it might be about 3, if it's a Nature's Way brand, it's like 3 capsules 3 times a day. And that is as good as a beta blocker or calcium channel blocker in your medication. All right. So any of those types of blood pressure medication that you're on, the hawthorn can do a great job and work, alongside with that. Now, hawthorn is also a heart tonic. So many times the heart is weak and you may have heart palpitations, and or because you have some atherosclerosis, some plaque deposits going on, you find that you can have angina, which is that pain in your heart region due to narrowed arteries and the blood having to force to get through the arteries. That causes your heart to pain you. So the hawthorn berries can be very helpful there. If you have a high blood pressure situation, hawthorn is one thing that you should be on. And again, it's like a heart tonic. So individuals who have heartache, for whatever reason, you've lost a spouse, a good friend, you've moved away from the best location of your life and your heart is broken, you're quite disappointed for whatever reason. Hawthorn can help to soothe you, calm you, and even cushion the impact of anxiety, stress, or trauma on your heart. You know, individuals can have such a traumatic experience that their heart just like pound and beat out of their chest. And so Hawthorn can help you to reduce the impact of that and to get things normalized again. Now, how do we use it? It's sold even in powder form or in capsule form. So the powder in the capsule. And it's 1 teaspoon to 1 8-ounce glass of water 2 to 3 times a day. And so you drink 2 to 3 cups of Hawthorn tea within a day. And it's 1 teaspoon per cup. And if it is a capsule, look at the bottle and it would give you the directions and as to how to use it. So Hawthorn is like a must-have. Here's an option because we can work with high blood pressure. If you don't have linden flower, it's okay. There's so many other things. So we mentioned the garlic, hawthorn, so put that on your list. And garlic, hawthorn, you could find just about anywhere. Linden may be sort of like location specific, but linden tends to relax the nervous tension and therefore your blood pressure is reduced. If you are less stressed, calm, then your blood pressure is lessened. It relaxes the circulatory system. So not only the nervous system, the circulatory system, and it's a good remedy for headaches, migraines. It's also a heart tonic, and there are no known contraindications for hawthorn, as well as for linden flower. No known contraindications, meaning it can work along with your medicines. If you got a whole of linden flower, you want to have 1/2 teaspoon to 1 cup of hot water, and you have at least 1 to 2 cups daily. All right, morning, evening, morning, lunchtime. Lemon balm, again, if you look, these are things that are common. Hawthorn calms your heart, your circulatory system. Linden is calming. Lemon balm is calming. You are looking at items here that are calming in nature to get our bodies back into good function. So you don't want anything that would be stimulating and get you so hyper. That can cause your blood pressure to go up. So to get it down, get everything, even all what you're drinking, consuming, let it be down, calm. So lemon balm, it's part of the mint family. And it also, apart from being calming, tends to dilate, relax your blood vessels and allow the blood to flow through nicely. And therefore, your reading for high blood pressure is going to be reduced. Good for tension, headaches, and migraines. Sometimes you could be so agitated about a situation that you get migraine, headaches, you get a tension headache. Folks would tell me anytime they think about a situation, they get a headache that's burning their head. And that's a tension headache. So a lemon balm can help to calm you down. So again, watch if you do have thyroid issues going on and you're on thyroid medication, stay away from lemon balm. Again, it can affect your thyroid function as that seeks to regulate your metabolism and your drive and your energy. So 1 teaspoon to 1 cup, an 8-ounce cup of hot water, and you can drink lemon balm 2 to 3 times a day for reducing high blood pressure. Ginkgo biloba, getting into the head. This is another vasodilator. So it helps to open up your blood vessels and allow the blood to flow through nicely. You have blood vessels and arteries going to the head. A lot of folks get strokes, and it's because they don't have good blood supply to their head or too much. And so ginkgo biloba can be helpful. Even if you had a stroke and you have issues with your memory, the brain has been impacted, ginkgo biloba. If you look at the shape of the leaf, you see this like a lobe, half of the brain structure with a little indent right there. I mean, God has created this and these things to look just like the organ in our body that needs it most. And it also helps to increase, to inhibit platelet activation that might help to prevent stroke. So if you're one that way are prone to blood clots, ginkgo biloba can help you, and it has a special liking for the brain. 1/2 a teaspoon of ginkgo biloba to 4 ounces or a half cup of hot water 1 to 2 times daily. So not very much. It's not a whole teaspoon you need twice a day, but 1/2 a teaspoon you need twice a day in 1/2 cup of water. Valerian, again, another calming, relaxing herb, similar to lemon balm. And you can have valerian, make it as a tea, or get it in capsule form. Doesn't have a nice smell, but it can help not only to reduce blood pressure, but also stress, and to induce sleep, can help you to sleep. And there are no known contraindications, meaning it can work along well with your medicine. The root is the medicine, and it smells really funny, awful. So 2 tablespoons of that root in 4 cups of hot water. You want to simmer that for about 15 minutes and then draw it for 1 to 4 hours, and you can drink valerian, another calming agent. Dandelion is great. It's a diuretic. So think back, one of the early pills that might be given to someone who is hypertensive will be a water pill, the hydrochlorothiazide pill, HTCZ. And so that replacer in your day-to-day intake can be dandelion. Again, we're not taking you off your medication, but you can also work along looking at a diuretic. If you reduce the amount of blood volumes, then you can get a lower reading. It's like a tank having a lower volume of water, then the reading would be, the outflow would reduce. Now, if you're using the leaves, you want 1 to 2 teaspoons of the dried leaf. It's pretty big. You see the leaf, it's not any fine leaf. And but 1 to 2 teaspoons to 1 cup of hot water, you just simply cover it, let it draw for about 15 minutes or 20 or 30 minutes or so, and you let that be consumed 3 times daily. Dandelion root is also helpful. So not only the leaf, the entire plant, the leaf, the flower, the root can be simmered for about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and you want to drink 2 teaspoons in 4 cups of water. That's pretty getting it, quite strong. 2 teaspoons, 2 to 3 teaspoons in 4 cups of water, and simmer that for about 15 minutes, and then you drink 3 cups a day. Dandelion just helps to lower that blood pressure. And another one is like parsley. We just have about 3 more. And parsley is another diuretic. So think about dandelion, parsley, and in combination with hawthorn. That's a nice good tea there for you. That you can drink if you have high blood pressure. And you may have some of these herbs in your garden. You might have access to dandelion. You may have parsley in your local market or in your garden. And parsley, 1/2 teaspoon, 2 to 3 times a day per cup. Okay, so 1/2 a teaspoon per cup. And then we have ashwagandha. It's quite calming, another calming item to your adrenal gland that helps to regulate your heart rate. And ashwagandha can also be useful for inducing sleep, reducing stress, calming the nervous system, even for tension headache, calming that down. Now, if you have hyperthyroidism, an overactive thyroid gland, then avoid ashwagandha. But how do we use ashwagandha? 1/2 teaspoon of, this is the root. It may most times be in powder form, and that would be 1/2 teaspoon of the powder to 1 cup of hot water. You can just run it on a low heat and for about 15 minutes, then you drink 2 to 3 cups daily. It works like this. I see it also can work if you just simply throw it in some hot water or even regular room temperature water. It would still give you some benefit. But again, if you drew it as a tea, it will go even further. And here's another diuretic, corn silk, which is that nice little top part of the corn. And that, when matured, gets brown, and you can harvest it. When you pick your corn, you can take that bit off, dry it in a paper bag, hang it, you know, so it's nice, and you have it for times ahead. Corn silk, a handful of corn silk, put that in a pot with some hot water, and like about 4 cups of hot water. You cover it and let it just steep there for anywhere like 30 minutes to 3 hours. And you can drink corn silk for an extended period of time. And so here's a recipe: 1 cup of the corn silk, or 2 teaspoons of the fresh or dried herb per 8-ounce cup of boiling water. And you want to drink that 3 times a day. You want to drink that 3 times daily. And so, but I just take like a handful, put it in my mixture. That could be about 8 cups of water. You let it steep, and then you're going to drink like, as you see, 3 times. So 3 cups. You want to drink 3 cups daily. Bay leaf can work phenomenally in terms of lowering blood pressure. There are some other Caribbean leaves like soursop, avocado leaf, and breadfruit leaf. And that can be simmered for at least 15 minutes in 4 cups of hot water, 7 leaves of the bay leaf. Why we would simmer the leaves of bay leaf? It's because it's pretty tough. Usually leaves like the mint leaves, you can just simply put that in into some hot water and draw it in as an infusion. But with the bay leaf, it's pretty tough, so we give it a little simmering and get the properties out of it. Now, here is a combination. If you think for items that we just mentioned, 2 teaspoons of hawthorn berries, and 2 teaspoons of linden flower, 1 teaspoon of ginkgo biloba, 1 teaspoon of valerian, and you add that to 4 cups of hot boiling water. You can draw for 1 to 3 hours. It's cool. You strain it and you drink that during the day. And literally, that can help you to reduce your blood pressure. CoQ10, sometimes we are deficient in CoQ10, and that can cause blood pressure situations. So CoQ10, 30 milligrams twice daily. And that's a low dose of CoQ10, but it's on a regular basis. So that helps to give vitality to your cells and to help them with functioning better. Now, as a rule, we want to be able to just simply know when we're preparing our teas, the hard part of a plant, you want to be able to boil those. So if it's a tough leaf, as I showed you the bay leaf, or if it is the root, as in the dandelion root, if it is the bark or the stem or the seed, like milk thistle seed, we would want to boil that, not just to throw the hot water. You release the medicinal value from it when it's on simmering heat, and that heat will be consistent for a duration of time, and then the properties will come out. If it's a rhizome, such as in turmeric, that as well you want to simmer. Now, the other parts of the plant, which are delicate, like the leaves, the flower, the buds, leaf buds, and the stems and clusters, you can steep those and just pour the hot water over it, cover it, so you keep the volatile oils within, and then you are able to enjoy your tea. Now, there is also kelp or dulse, and you can sprinkle 1 teaspoon of that over your food. What is that? It helps to provide iodine in our diet through the seaweed vegetable of kelp or dulse. if you're in the Caribbean and you have access to sea moss, you can take about 1 tablespoon of sea moss 2 to 3 times a week, and that can help you to improve in your thyroid function as well as in lower your blood pressure. Kelp and dulse are seaweed vegetables, so you can have whichever one you have at hand. And your pink Himalayan sea salt, you can use that in your cooking of your food daily. Now, there are times when individuals may be given aspirin for why to thin the blood, or if they have any pain issues. And willow bark is the herbal agent that is the baseline for aspirin. And you can use willow bark, 30 to 325 millimeter tablet capsules. So you just look for the willow bark in a bottle, and that would tell you how to use it. You want to have 1 to 2 cups of willow bark tea. Sometimes, you know, with a herb like that, I'll just open it up, open a capsule, drop it as per dose and recommended dose, and put it in a cup of hot water and just drink that. So if you have angina, it's an emergency, so certainly go to the emergency room. But if you're on aspirin, willow is like a natural aspirin for you. Onions, 1 bulb daily, it helps to prevent blood clots. Similarly, the garlic will help to prevent blood clot. Evening primrose, it contains GLA, and you would use it with flaxseed. You find that a lot of women in menopause tend to have higher blood pressure, and that's because their estrogen levels have been reduced dramatically. And that when the estrogen was there in sufficient amounts, it would hold their blood pressure nicely. But as they continue to age and you get into the menopause phase, we need to balance our hormones with evening primrose as well as flaxseed. 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, ground flaxseed daily can help in a tremendous way to even prevent blood clots. It can help to thin the blood. It can help to balance the hormone, give you plant-based and plant source of estrogen, and the body can work with that and keep the blood pressure within range. Vitamin D, if you have vitamin D as a supplement, it's also good. And then we see that getting your sunlight. Sunlight produces nitric oxide, opening your blood vessels, allowing the blood to flow through nicely. And you can have your sunlight, be out there in the sun. It helps to lower the blood pressure. And you're looking for, if you're in the Caribbean, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., other parts of the world, the closer you are to the equator, you probably would most likely have sunlight in a quality form all year round to be able to make vitamin D. And but as a supplement, you can have as a starter 5,000 international units daily, and that would be for individuals specifically of darker complexion. You're gonna use this on a day-by-day basis. You can have a check out of your vitamin D level before you start supplementing, so that you know that you're working your way up to a certain level. For darker skinned individuals, you need about 45 minutes to an hour and a half of sunlight exposure daily. For lighter skinned individuals, you need anywhere from 7.5 to 30 minutes on a daily basis of sunlight exposure so that you can make adequate amounts of vitamin D. Okay, so with that, there's just one more. By immersing our arm or your hands into some hot water can help to draw that blood away from the head, and that can be effective in reducing blood pressure. So if you see, you get a basin, fill it with some hot water, enough that you can tolerate, put your hands, see, test, and then you can put your hands in the bowl. That heat is going to draw the blood away from the head and lower your blood pressure. Putting your arm from your elbows into a bowl with some hot water can do the same reaction. Getting the blood pressure away from the brain can help to prevent strokes and even heart attacks. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that presentation on high blood pressure. If you have any questions, now is the time we can take them. So anyone, any particular herb, do you have your listing of what are some of the herbs that we can utilize on a day-by-day basis? Okay, going once, going twice. All right. Okay, so I guess now it's pretty clear. And
Good evening. Good evening.
good evening. Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Yes, go ahead.
I heard you mention. I heard you mention salt, but I'm hearing that salt does raise the blood pressure. If so, how much salt is needed, or should we stay away from salt completely?
Okay, good question. Now, a lot of individuals, when they have high blood pressure, tend to run away from salt. And it's because they know that sodium can elevate the blood pressure. But then you can have another problem in that your sodium level can be so reduced that it can cause problems. Today, when we were in the pool doing our exercise, I had like about 2 clients that complained about getting cramps in their feet. And I said, okay, so we got them up to a safe place on the staircase and we rubbed under the area where they had the trouble. But I also sent for the pink Himalayan sea salt and shook a little bit in the hand and say, lick this, so that you would be able to get rid of that cramp. So just by licking it, it eased up everything and the cramp went away and they were able to rejoin us. Now, that's the situation where if you stay away from salt and have no salt, you could have low sodium and you can experience other impacts on the body, so cramping being one of them. Now, that would be for the person who's hypertensive, and for the entire family, where in the home, they drive the sodium down. Now, sodium is an essential mineral, but there are other trace minerals that you can find in natural salt. And so in an all-natural salt is what we want. That would have sodium in it, yes, but not in high amounts, as the white table salt, for example, that's high in sodium, chloride, and maybe you might have iodine added to it. So we want to be able to use a salt that is natural, that has iodine naturally occurring, that has a wide range of minerals in it. The pink Himalayan sea salt with iodine that has iodine in it can be one of those good options. You also have Celtic sea salt, that is another option. But the thing with Celtic is that it does not have iodine in it. So you would need to add your iodine with your kelp or your dulse, which we also showed can be items to help to lower the blood pressure. So the white table salt, when individuals say, I'm not using salt, it's a white one, I will agree. Don't use that one because it's so high in the sodium content. It's almost like so dominant because of how it's made and its composition. However, don't stop there. Go seek and get an all-natural salt, be it the Celtic or the pink Himalayan, and use those instead. 1 teaspoon for your entire day can be your salt intake for you. Okay, so 1 teaspoon, and that's getting a measuring teaspoon utensil in the kitchen. And that's a small amount for your entire day for a normal individual to meet their salt needs. And when I say salt, I'm looking at the whole range, like about 80, 84 trace minerals range of trace minerals in that salt. So there you have it. There are a lot of families too who would stay away from salt, and their children or other members in the family tend to be salt deficient, sodium deficient, or iodine deficient even, and have iodine deficient conditions. So watch it. It's not like no salt, but low salt, low volumes. And again, an all natural sea salt will have sodium in it, but in a minute amount. And it will have other minerals in there as well to give you a good balance. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thanks. All right, do we have any? I think I see some right up in the chat. Okay, can you get a copy of the presentation? All right, I would put, okay, I see you've given your email here. Fantastic. So I'll just take note of that and be able to send to you a link where you would get. So this again is the 5th part of our presentation on high blood pressure, and we had 4 other lectures that went ahead, and that is all on our YouTube channel that you would be able to acquire. Okay, so I'm going to end this recording now, but don't leave because I have a few more pointers for you.